Shalom, children. Last week, we heard all about Yohanan, who was grown up and preaching in the wilderness. He was calling people to repent, that is, to turn back to the Torah, the law of Adonai. Many listened and were mikvahed in the Yarden River. Yeshua had asked Yohanan to mikvah him, and after he went out into the wilderness for a time of testing. Can you remember how long he was there? Yes, 40 days and 40 nights. Today we will begin our story back at the river where Yohanan was preaching. He was talking with two of his taught ones when they saw Yeshua walking nearby. Yohanan said, "See the Lamb of Elohim." The two taught ones went after Yeshua and caught up to him. He turned around and asked them what they were looking for. They said to him, "Rabbi," or teacher, "where are you staying?" Yeshua told them, "Come and see." So they stayed with him for the rest of the day, listening to his message. Afterwards, one of Yohanan's taught ones, whose name was Andrew, went to find his brother Shimon to tell him that they had found the Messiah, or the Anointed One. Shimon wanted to meet with Yeshua and see for himself, so Andrew took him. When Yeshua saw him, he said, "You are Shimon," which means to hear. You will be called Kepha, which means a stone. The next day Yeshua went to the Galilee and found a man named Philip. He said to him, "Follow me." Philip then went and found Nathanael, telling him, "We have found the one whom Moshe wrote of in the Torah, and of whom the prophets spoke of." He told him that his name was Yeshua of Nazareth. Well, Nathanael wasn't so sure that the Anointed One could come from such a small and insignificant place like Nazareth, but he was soon to change his mind once he met him. Andrew and his brother Shimon lived in Bethsaida near the Sea of Galilee, where they worked as fishermen. It was a little while after they had first spent some time with Yeshua, and they were back at work, going about their fishing business, when Yeshua came walking along the shore. He called out to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." They immediately left their nets and followed him. They all walked together along the shore when they came across two more brothers who worked as fishermen, Yaakov and Yohanan. They were busy fixing their nets to make them ready to be used again, when Yeshua called out for them to follow him too. So they did. There was a marriage being held in Cana of Galilee. Yeshua's mother Miriam was invited to the wedding, as was Yeshua and his taught ones. It came to be during the festivities that they ran out of wine, and the guests would not have liked that news one bit. Miriam, who may well have been helping to organize the food, was told about the tricky situation. She told Yeshua all about the problem, who said it wasn't his time to be attending to the guests at a wedding. What happened next was to be the first recorded miracle or sign that Yeshua would do. Have you heard the word miracle before? Do you know what it means? Well, a miracle, or a sign, is something that takes place which no man could make happen by his own strength. The miracle is an event that demonstrates to others that Elohim has sent him. Let's think and look back at the time when Yahweh first called Moshe to bring the children of Israel out of Mitzrayim. Moshe had asked Yahweh what to do if the elders of the Israelites did not believe that Moshe was sent by Elohim to deliver them. To begin with, Yahweh told Moshe to throw down his rod to the ground. and when he did, it turned into a snake. Now let me ask you something. Is it normally possible to turn a stick into a snake? Certainly not. But it so happened that the magicians in Pharaoh's court were able to turn their sticks into snakes too. But to show the people that Moshe was truly from Elohim, his snake ate up all the snakes of the magicians. There were many other signs that Moshe went on to do, and the magicians, who were not sent by Elohim to redeem the children of Israel, were unable to copy them. My favorite miracle was when the children of Israel received their great deliverance from bondage, when they passed through the Red Sea, leaving the Mitzrites behind. Yeshua was to do many signs during his ministry, and like Moshe, he too brought and still brings deliverance from bondage. But we don't come out of a physical slavery, rather a spiritual bondage. If you imagine sin being Mitzrayim, Yeshua was sent to us to deliver us out of our sin. Now back to the wedding. We haven't heard yet what miracle Yeshua did there. At the celebration, there were special pots for the Yehudim to perform one of their many water cleaning rituals. Now, these are not Torah instructions. They were traditions passed down from generation to generation. There were also servants at the wedding, and Yeshua told these servants to fill up the water pots to the brim. He then instructed them to draw off a cup of the liquid and give it to the person in charge of the wedding to taste it. When the master of the feast tasted the drink, he was amazed. You see, the water wasn't water anymore. It had turned into wine, and not just any old wine, but a most excellent tasting wine. The master of the feast was so impressed that he called for the bridegroom, telling him usually the best wine is drunk first, but on this occasion the choicest wine had been saved until later. He didn't know that the wine had come from the water in the ritual pots, but the servants had seen, and Yeshua's taught ones had seen it too, and they believed. What a lovely story, and how interesting that Yeshua chose a wedding feast to demonstrate his first sign that he was sent from Elohim. One day there is going to be a much greater wedding feast, and Yeshua himself will be the bridegroom. As we learn more about the events in the life of Yeshua, let's listen out to see if he talks more about wedding feasts and how we could be invited to such an event, because I sure wouldn't want to miss out on that celebration. Well, children, that is the end of our story for today. So we will see you next time for another exciting journey in the life of Yeshua. Shalom.
Come to him, the cornerstone, rejected by man but chosen by Yah. Be joined to him like living stones.